Anyway, before we give out these nice trophies up here, pass the microphone down. I want everybody up on the stage to introduce themselves. These are all GT Build Team members, significant people in the program, and just hand the microphone down, and we're going to go right down the line here.
Rich Brooks. Yo.
Rich Brooks with the GT guys.
Madison right back.
GT guys. Will Robath from Arizona, so what I do, so as a Build Team member, and also
Will Design.
Okay, we're going to pass this down so these guys can tell what they did.
Yeah.
All right, during the program? Or?
Yeah.
Program. During the program, my job was pretty much, I thought of myself as the middleman between all the mechanics, the fabricators, and the engineers. So naturally, I got stuck on both sides pretty hard. Because everybody had their own ideas and opinions and how things should happen and be built. They didn't always agree, so it was always my job to usually go back and forth between the mechanics and Tom's office to try to come up with the middle ground for everyone. So I spent a lot of time walking and put four or 5 years of shit. Running back and forth, trying to keep everybody happy. It was a good time. It was very stressful at the time. There was a lot of stress and high pace with the program. But it all turned out pretty good. Hey, Rick.
Okay, my responsibility was to support the vehicle dynamics portion of the car. The vehicle dynamics engineering team, which was pretty much led by Mark McGowan. He's overseeing out on the track the suspension, the brakes, and steering. They would give me a car, I'd put it in a semi, we'd go out to the track, and we'd go around that track and change shocks, change brakes, change whatever we had to until that car felt the way he wanted it to feel. He took it for a drive and let us know if we get it right or not. And that's pretty much what we did there. That was my responsibility for GT.
I was on the last portion of the GT. I actually built it. 42 of us, I'm speaking from the Ford end, and now there was quite a few Saline people that built probably 75% of the car. But when it was sent from Saline to Ford, I was one of the 42 build team members. It was a build team, a repairman. I was one of 2 quality auto test drivers. We were the only ones who were allowed to drive production level cars, customers cars on the road. One car a day in good weather, got a 25-mile evaluation drive around the local roads around Wixom. And I just got to say, Mark McGowan was my teacher at the Mission Training Grounds, and I've never, ever, nothing will ever top that between Mark and Chris White and Scott. They were, you would not believe, every person sitting here that has a GT, you would not believe that that car is capable. I saw Mark McGowan, and I rode with Mark McGowan, when he did things that physically shouldn't even be possible. But anyway, there was 42 of us that actually hand-built cars. Our teams built each one. Initially, when we set up Wixom, Ford felt that there was 21 which was sufficient. 21 of us guys could build a car. Not likely. So we ended up with 42. So that was my end.
I covered the design part of my studio, designed the car from the concept car, from the initial sketches, into the concept car at the auto show, and then when we got blessed with Bill Ford to go, then we went into production, and then I met all these great guys, and I did not leave the car until we did the car cover. I hung on to that thing, and not a lot of designers actually get to do that, and I actually hounded these guys to take me to the track to teach me to drive too.
I was a vehicle engineering manager for GT, and there were 3 senior managers, myself, Jamal Hamidi, who was the program manager, and Fred Goodenow, who was the design manager. So the vehicle engineering manager is really the protector of the customer. I have to make sure that when the car that we're developing when it's finished, that it will hit the target customer, and we had to guess it who you guys were. And we sent Jamal some Ferrari beats and we'll figure that out. But, and he did a good job of it. But as you can tell, because I made these guys talk, I was their boss.
Along with everybody else in this room, most of the people in this room, my name is Chip Reck. I'm the most important member of this entire team. I know about 4,000 people whose desire to own one of these damn things caused me to spend more money to acquire it than I spent on the house I was living in at the time.
My name is Scott Ullman. So I was for GT chassis design and development, start to finish in engineering. I was the only guy, I believe, who went from design to development. So the first part of the program, I was the first chassis design guy there, and so I had tires and suspension. A couple of us shared the control arms and knuckles, and so I had suspension geometries. I did the final suspension geometry on the car, and working with guys like Frank and so on. And so chassis design, and then the switch after chassis design work was done. I switched over to Markston and did right-hand development.
I'm Mark McGowan. I was in charge of the engineering team that ran the vehicle dynamics attribute, which was basically ride, steering, handling, and brakes. Kept Dennis up late a lot. And reported to Tom. And was one of the advocates.
The road I'm going to put on today, I'll be picking up my first place trophy right after dinner, I understand. But whoever won those things, we're going to give those out after dinner. But briefly, since we have a minute, today we've got a few trophies over here that are sponsored by the GT guys. And if these people are here, since they're here, I'd like to hand them out. Just take a second. Today, or at the car show the other day, for the outstanding stock automobile, awarded by the GT guys, is Jack Carter and his red and white Ford GT. Come on well, he's going to
Mine's the red one.
Congratulations. After you pick it up, walk back, have your picture taken with Stephen Woodley. Outstanding Street Modified, Gary Triehorn with his Heritage GT. The Best Heavy Modified, Alex Birch in his red X1. The next trophy will be handed out by Camillo. It is the Designer's Choice Award, the designer of the car itself. Camillo selected Shelby Smith with his black GT. It may pain my good friend Rocket Man to hear me say it, the finest driver I've ever been in a car with, Mark McGowan's going to hand out the next one. He's just a hair smoother than Ron, although he's not close to doing that. Mark McGowan will hand out the next Driver's Choice Award, and that will go to Jeff Larson. Your GT knows more than any other GT in the world. Master Engineer will give out the next award. Scott Allman will present the Engineer's Choice Award to Brian Storm. Outstanding Show Award, and this one isn't even close, goes to Lance Miller with Maytag Cars.
Yeah, awesome.
Not here? Well, that's too bad. I will take this award for you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Again, thanks to David Bannister for an unbelievable run. We're at 8 o'clock and we'll be moving to a different facility. Before we go, I'd like everybody in the room to stand up for just 1 second. If this is your first rally, everybody here will be a family member at your next rally. If you don't know anybody and it's your first rally and you're uncomfortable, please come and find me, because I'd like to get to know you. If this is your first rally, raise your hand. Outstanding. Love to see you.
Oh, okay. Ford had these things called early outs, so I went out. And I took a job with a startup, but then shortly thereafter I took a job with Honda Racing. I'm the chief engineer of Honda Racing for the United States. Oh yeah, I'm trying to beat those Chevys.
Any other questions?
To build on the question regarding our expectations of the car, and as far as people modifying it as much as they did, I don't think we first saw the level of modification necessarily that some of these guys have done all over the car, including like Stormcat's car, for example, or Chip's car, or there's many cars that people spent significant effort on. I don't think we foresaw that level. I don't think we foresaw, we knew straight line was going to be important, and we knew, quarter mile times. We didn't really, quarter mile stuff, we didn't really actually think a lot about the standing mile, half mile stuff. It was not really on our radar. And really the heritage of the car and what we were trying to build was a turning right and left car. It was the road course car, for sure. That was really what we were trying to build. We knew it had to do well in the straight line and do very well. But honestly, I didn't, and I don't think any of us foresaw the level of, foresaw the mile stuff coming, nor some of the level of modification.
If you guys have not experienced the mile thing, standing mile in the Ford GT, I really recommend it because it's safe, it's wide, it's a landing strip usually for an airplane, and the sensation of, unless you're twin turbo, you're not going to break 200, but creeping up on 200 is fantastic.
Okay, we have just a bit of time before dinner. Chris Wheeler, I'd like you to come up here. We do have a little time, so Chris is going to give out the trophies for the road rally today.
So, you guys, did you have a good round? People like it? The first question I asked all of you when you came back was, are you still married? And all but 3 said, yeah. And 3 said, what's the number for the divorce attorney in Vegas? And one person Googled it and put it on their form. That was scary. And then the other question I asked you all was, do you hate us? And about half of you said, yes, we hate you. Really hard and difficult. And I'm going to tell you a few of the answers we got on these things. And I'm sorry that those of you that weren't in the rally, you won't get this stuff, but it was pretty fun. One of the questions was, what can't you do on that road? And one person answered, "We can't find half the answers." Which I thought was pretty good. Do you remember the thing about the bridges? What's the combined age of the bridges? Right. 99% of you guys got there. It was 44 years. You just added it. Some team, and I'm not mentioning names because these are just good. Mark and I were rolling. Some people added up all the years and said 10,026. This is how old the bridges were. 10,000 years. It's like, damn. And they have a driver's license. We had one couple leave the lot, and they were one of the early departures. And like 10 minutes later, they came back. Oh, we give them the wrong instructions. And they got out of the car and said, "We quit. We're not doing this. It's not safe in these cars. You can't see out of them." Well, that's true. You can't see out of them. But we didn't expect somebody to quit that soon. But we had an even better one a little bit later. A couple cars left. And they're kind of going out. We're giving the same speech to everybody with the stuff. And they come back like 15 minutes later, both cars park. And they get out and they walk up and go, "Oh no, some more people quit. We're going to be complete losers if half the people that do this quit." Come back and they feel so bad. But they came up to us and said, "We can't figure out how to get out of the parking lot." It's good that they quit. She told them to go down there and turn right at the light. I said, "What about that other entrance?" I said, "No." Anyway, that was a good one. We didn't have anything like that at the last one. Anyway, I could go on with more of these stories, but I don't want to run us late for dinner. So, everybody did really well. I'm going to tell this story halfway through. The scores actually ended up being pretty close. Everybody was pretty close in here. Nobody got them all right. And one reason that nobody got them all right is we put one question in there not knowing that the answer was unknowable this time. And that was how many floor plans. Because between the time we did this a month ago, and we were very careful to do this on a Friday afternoon at the exact same time, we wanted to make sure there was no weirdness with school zones or traffic. Well, from the time we did it until you did it, they took down that damn sign. And so, right where you turn left on the Tropicana to go count the gas station, there used to be a big sign there that said, "Units for lease, 14 float plans." The good news is, everybody took a shot to pick the number better than nothing. I'm not sure one person may have got that right. But anyway, the scores were all close. We ended up not having to use mileage as a test in any way. The absolute numbers came out. And if you remember, the mileage was only in the event of a tie in any place, we looked at the lowest mileage. And thank God for some of you that we did it that way, because there was some big mileage. But anyway, third place. And the third place trophy is a repeat podium finisher. Suspense grows here from Sonoma. I do, but I wrote really big, so I think I can go without. Third place, Gary Jean and Amy Harding, Eccentric. You got second last year. You won't podium next year if you keep going the same way.
Second loser instead of a first loser.
We're going backwards, but we love it. The board's important, might be next.
Okay, second place, who got one answer right more than our third place team, was Elliot and Valerie Hoffman.
I'll let my co-pilot know it wasn't here.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Look at that.
All right, before we go to the first place trophy, we have another trophy, and I'm going to spend a second talking about this one. Put it out, let us see it. It's tacky, it's small, it's gold. Okay, I hope this person, who is a very good friend of mine, and has been for all 9 rallies, doesn't mind me doing this. But last year at the rally, who did the rally last year? Bunch of you. And there was one couple that came back from the rally last year at Sonoma, and they got out of the car and came to me and said, "You're responsible for our horse." I mean, me, you, Chris, are responsible. This team I think had a good time at the rally, but they had some challenges, and the score was pretty good. But I thought we should honor that kind of spirit at future rallies, so that we would, honor that spirit. And we had contenders for this year as well. So this is the. Please be okay with this. This is the Bill Dickey Road Rally Award. And there was discussion. I was advised for the last month not to do this by everybody that knew me. You're going to don't do that. He's a nice guy. Anyway, and I was then asked by Steve Art, who helped me with this, should we make two so that we can give him the award for last year, because we didn't have one last year? I said, no, that'd be really rubbing it in. We're only going to have one for this year. So we're giving the award out this year for the people that had the most interesting or challenging or difficult or whatever award. And we hope we do this every year. We'll continue to call it the Bill Dickey Award. But, and I don't want to, what's that? You are the winner. You couldn't have scripted it any better. You know how difficult 4 hours in the car would be.
I guess we're going to share this.
Congratulations on the first annual Bill Dickey Memorial Program.
He asked them partway through the rally, when did you two get married?
We had a good premonition in this crowd because Ryan stood up and said something, and it was his award. We had somebody earlier today with a microphone in their hand say that they'd be taking home the first place trophy this time. And as it turns out, it's true. Chip Beck. Chip Beck first place, more answers right than anybody else. Congratulations. Thank you guys for playing for 3 years as well. Take care.
We liked each other at the beginning, and we liked each other at the end, so.
Dave, is it time for dinner yet? Let's go to dinner. Thank you all for coming.